not a facto, pterodactyl when I'm micro and macro my mind. Why would I try to hide the fact that I'm jacked to be actually naturally high? And I'm that guy with the flashlight, looking back at the track with the black light. How about this, how about that? Pay attention to wax, you're free to see.
What up, gang? Ian Anderson, Corey Merrill, Central Coast Disc Golf. We're back with some more Ledgestone. We got round 2, part 2 out at Lake Eureka. This course is hard. Normally, it's even harder in the wind, Corey, and it's showing that.
Absolutely. It is a temp course, so maybe not the traditional shots you'd be throwing if you were coming out here on an average day, but it is extremely long. It is extremely windy, and we've got some extremely good players on our card, my friend.
We do. We got Eric, we got MJ, we got AJ, we got Beast. Paul having the kind of only good round so far. The wind and the OB getting the best of the rest of the gang so far.
Absolutely. It has been a little nasty out here. Paul started 4 down after 4 holes, but hit a few hiccups. But this is his kind of hole. Hole 10, par 3, 500 feet. The basket's sitting right in front of your face. Just park it.
Yeah, he absolutely parked it last round. With that, not happening this round though.
Ooh,
oh, maybe it is?
Down. Ian.
I guess it is.
Ian, don't you ever doubt him again.
I wasn't doubting him, Corey. I was doubting the wind. It's different. It's entirely different.
Okay, fair.
AJ, that's OB, isn't it? Or no?
It is OB. It never quite got past it.
Yeah. Eric? Is he re-teeing, or what's the play there?
No, you just play it from where it went out of bounds. This year, remember, the stroke in distance is pretty much totally gone. There are a couple spots where the drop zone is almost right next to the tee. But in general, you're going to play it at just traditional OB rules. Okay.
That was a great shot from Eric.
Yeah, Eric found himself a little bit left in the trees, but had all the distance he needed.
Yeah. Look at AJ's third.
Good shape, just starting it off a little bit right, unfortunately.
Yeah, edge of the circle there. MJ just forced to lay up with that OB behind in the trees.
And a little tree in front of his face. It was not ideal.
Yeah. AJ for a 4, going to take a 5. This is Eric from the woods?
Yeah, and like I said, he had the distance, but really just pinned in there. That's all he had, little sidearm out.
Dang. Got so close, too, and Paul just 2 drop-ins on this hole.
I remember hearing him in an interview. The question was how far, on flat ground, nothing in your way, how far and you feel like you'd park it every time? And he said 500 feet.
That's our AMA, dude.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, that's about spot on because he seems so dialed for this hyzer shot.
Yep. He can definitely park longer holes, but he feels confident in that 500 getting it most of the time, and he's showing that off right here. God, I could throw that destroyer like 250.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe I could sidearm it out and like chop it over and have it flex or something, but that's about it.
Yeah. Wow. Paul is now 10 down, and we are into hole 11, par 3, 240. Little shorty here. You see some forehands or some straight shots with the backhand.
Yeah, and this is kind of the back half of the back end of like the little birdie alley. 9, 10, 11 are all pretty gettable if you have that type of distance, especially for hole 10. But this is the shortest of the 3, well, 240 feet. A lot of sidearms, like you said. If you want to get like tricky, you might throw a backhand. I know we had Nate Doss and KJ throw the backhand in round 1.
They worked though.
It did.
Yeah.
Look at that. Soak it in, Ian.
An MJ forehand off the tee?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I know. I never thought I'd see the day.
I don't think I'd ever seen it before.
Hey, don't Jamie yourself. Don't say that because now the next 5 holes he'll throw a sidearm.
That's so true. So AJ turned that over too much. OB tried to save par. It's going to take a bogey. You can't bogey this hole. It's a must get too.
Yeah, and that's losing 2 strokes to a lot of folks there.
Sure enough. MJ with a really good putt for 2.
They're commiserating over the fact that he never throws sidearms.
So you can't tell how well MJ is playing from looking at his face because he's always smiling.
I know. Gosh, I remember from Worlds, for all intents and purposes, he parked a hole and missed maybe like a 12, 13 footer, and his response was, oh, well, 1 missed putt per round isn't going to kill you. Who has that reaction? It's so cool.
The nicest guy in the world, that's here.
Exactly.
Yep. Good putt from Paul, dealing with those trees. That's a not good bogey from AJ, unfortunately. Great guy, but not a good tee shot.
The rarest thing in disc golf, man, a slow-mo MJ sidearm.
That's probably the first in existence right there.
Right?
So that should be in a museum.
I know. Disc Golf Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. Good birdies right there. We're on to hole 12. It gets a lot harder real quick.
Absolutely. Hole 12 is the first of just the brutal holes. Right before we cross the street over into the par 5, we're going to get to really some nasty stuff on the other side of the lake. This is an island hole up there, and it says 354, but trust me, it plays well over that.
Sure does. Oh, no.
Yeah, he was not excited. He said his reaction was every single time with that disc. He hasn't thrown it in yet once.
We see that happen so much on this hole. People coming up short, but not Eric. Oh, yes, Mr. Oakley.
Uh-huh. And all he was saying off the tee was like, no, 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 no. And it starts to hook up. Yeah.
You do need a little bit of flip to get up the hill, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like as we saw with Paul with the pier. Come on. Oh, come on.
Yeah, it wanted to get back in, but just didn't quite have the hyzer. We saw MJ bringing out a lot of forces today because of the wind.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Too much
Really?
juice. And did you see AJ really, he was stoked after that drive. He gave a little fist pump. He was jacked up.
Yeah. I mean, rightfully so. It looked good out of his hand.
Mm-hmm. Felt good out of the hand.
Yeah, that's Paul's third. Going to take a 4, unfortunately. MJ also looking at his third. Get around the thing. Oh, it's a putt at least.
Yeah, I mean, if you throw it up halfway, at least it's going to kick more towards the basket.
Yeah. This is also AJ's third from the drop zone. He should salvage a 4. Gosh, this hole is so punishing.
It really is. I mean, if you go OB, you're all the way back at the drop zone, and while it is a pretty routine shot from the drop zone, it's definitely, it's blind. You're throwing around onto an OB island, so it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, none of these guys have drop-ins. They're all putting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, except for Eric.
Except for, well, he wasn't at the drop zone.
There you go, right? So the easier shot is from the tee, clearly.
Yep, clearly it is. Good birdie, Eric. That's the nicest drive we'll see on that hole in 5 years.
Yeah, unless one goes in, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Solid gallery, as there usually is for a Paul card.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was actually a very good gallery between lead and chase card. Tons of people out. I'm really excited for these next 2 rounds.
Cool. Should be great to watch. There are a bunch of bogeys in that lone birdie for Eric, getting 2 strokes on the card. Hey.
Yeah, I haven't said it a lot today, but we'll say it. Eric taking strokes. Love it.
Yeah. Hole 13 is that par 5 going across the water. Then we're going right through some trees, or you can play the outside line as well.
Exactly.
If it's there for you.
If you happen to be in a good enough landing zone off the tee to be able to play it over the water, it really, really takes a lot of the teeth out of the hole. You wouldn't think so, throwing it over OB, but if you can just play the hyzer game, you're gonna putt. You have a putt for birdie for sure.
Mm-hmm. This thing is just sailing.
Yeah, that wind's just ripping it out.
Wow, just got under that flight plate and just carried it. Looks like
see
Paul's
McBeth
correcting off that.
I was just gonna say adjusting and throwing it straight and penetrating instead of letting that wind have its way.
Sometimes it's nice not to go first.
Yeah.
Especially on a windy day.
Oh man, poor Eric, sacrificial lamb.
He windsocked it. MJ also, adjusting.
Yeah, just
AJ?
throwing that force out there.
That's gonna work too.
That's a good shot. I mean, if anything, might be a hair longer than he'd like to be. You can get yourself pinched back behind those trees, but we'll see where the line is.
Okay. Here is Eric throwing 3.
Yeah, just ripping that criminal all the way up in the air. It is so stable.
Oh, that's a terrible spot to finish, but
yeah, a good shot, bad result, really.
Yeah, agreed. MJ's second shot, playing that hyzer over the lake Corey talked about. That's perfect.
And that's exactly where you want to be. It just turns into a series of 300-foot hyzers, really.
Looks like Paul's going with that. Is it the Metal Flake FD3?
Yep, and that's all it is. For him, it's destroyer off the tee, FD3, putt.
Hey. It's good to know what to do.
Catching lettuce out of his hand there.
Mm-hmm. It still finished nicely, though.
Yeah, and you see these guys just throwing these max stability. You know, MJ with the force, Risley throwing the enemy there. Paul with the FD3s.
Looks like MJ finished just outside the circle on his third. This is Eric throwing 4.
And see, he's going to have to take that left side, and there's just so much in your way.
That was a good forehand.
That was really good.
Like from that stance and that lie, that was solid. AJ with his third.
Enemy again.
Wow.
That was a great shot.
Sure enough. There's Paul going back to FD3. And yeah, you called it, Corey.
Yeah, it's pretty routine. If Eric kind of was the only unfortunate soul having to take the fair in air quotes way.
Yeah. There's MJ missing his birdie. Can take a 5. Here's Paul for a birdie 4. Good score there.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that not a lot of par 5s are really like do or die off the tee. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's huge distance. So maybe if you don't get a huge chunk off your drive, you can make that up by crushing 2 more. But really, it's a placement shot off the tee followed by 3 more placement shots. It's kind of a unique design.
It is, yeah. At least the holes they're all really different out here, you know? They test your entire
Absolutely.
game.
And it's a nice balance of flat and, you know, this hole doesn't have drastic elevation change, but every shot you're dealing with a sloped fall line, I believe I've heard it called, or just a sloped ground in general.
That's what Ron would call it. Alrighty, we're back. Big old thanks to our sponsor, MVP. Check out those Axiom baskets. Nobody likes boring baskets.
I like bright baskets.
Get some fun color baskets. Me too. You can see them in the woods on film.
This is true.
Yeah. Hole 14 coming up. Par 4, 805 along the water per the usual. What's the game plan off the tee, Corey?
Game plan is throwing a low penetrating, like straight to hyzer shot. You really, where that shadow is down there by that tree, that's the ideal landing zone. It really
Paul's
sets you up
headed for it.
nice. Exactly. Sets you up nice for that long, straight to hyzer approach shot, kind of really testing that water on the right side.
Nice. Was that his Metal Flake T-Bird 3?
Yeah, I believe it was. It was either that or his Glow T-Bird 3. I know it was a variation of the two, though.
Nice. Oh, that flipped just a little too much. Went OB there. MJ, this thing is dancing in the wind. Hopefully it stays in.
Hits
It
the
did not.
line. Yeah.
Gosh. Eric?
Good
Looks like it's
shot.
gonna hold. Get down. Get down.
Bad result.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's hard to throw it a lot better than what he just did. You know, you hit a little branch, it gives it a hair of an angle, and it's toast, you know?
Gosh, such a touchy tee shot. There is a good third shot from AJ. Should salvage a 5. This is MJ throwing his third.
And that's a great shot, man. A little low ceiling. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah,
going to
well,
get your, I guess you're not going to get up and down for par after the OB, but hard to ask for more.
Yeah, you take a 5. Paul with the overstable Star Destroyer.
A little bit of a slip action off the tee.
Oh
And so
no.
this is when Eric stepped in and notified Paul that that was a foot fault. He slid forward and kicked his disc on his shot,
Oh.
giving him the rethrow.
Well, that works out.
It's a very friendly gesture and an incredibly friendly kick.
Yeah. That is
Wow.
a friendly kick. Wow. Eric throwing 3.
Really got to commend Eric on the honesty, man.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
go
he
to
foot
these,
faulted, right?
huh?
He foot faulted. He called it.
No, I know exactly, but I can think of a million scenarios in amateur events where people are like, "Whoop, I'm not saying nothing."
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, it looks like MJ just lays up for the 5. AJ's going to do the same. Eric. Oh, wow. There's a headwind.
There is, and it's ripping.
Wow. Paul for birdie.
That's how you do it, man. You absolutely take advantage of that situation. That is a 2 to 3 stroke swing right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Okay, good.
Okay, good, but still not great.
Yeah, it's not in the water, though.
Yep. And Eric, after this hole, and asked me to intercut the trailer from the new horror movie Snowman here. We don't have the rights to that, but I mentioned it anyway, Eric. I'm so sorry this happened to you, but good times, buddy.
We here at CCG love you, buddy. Friend of the program. It's hard. It's hard to watch Eric play. Do that. Paul just crushing that overstable Star Destroyer.
Yeah, really just taking advantage of the situation. Not often do you get to rethrow after a mistake, and it's just so important to come up with a park job there.
Yep. Had kind of the KJ Nybo non-leg follow-through on that throw.
Exactly. Yeah, it was that like left to right downhill slope, so he really wanted to err on the left side of left.
Okay. Hole 15 is coming up, guys. Par 3, 330, going uphill a little bit. Paul going McPro Rock 3.
Yeah, you're really trying to cut the tree, really trying to cut that corner if you're throwing a mid-range or something that maybe isn't quite as fast. I know he threw a Leopard 3 yesterday and just overcooked it a little bit.
Yeah. AJ did the same, overcooking, turned it over too much. Is there a Mando where you can't go right, or is that just not
There is a Mando left of what I assume would be the tree trunk, but I'm not exactly sure. It's on the tree trunk, but I don't know how. You know, if you go through if it like penetrates through the tree, I don't know exactly how you'd call that, but
I think it usually goes like just straight up, basically in the middle of the tree.
Okay. Hard to tell, you know, if it just goes in the leaves and you can't see anything, but
this is true. Eric makes the Mando, but is not going to make a birdie. Here he is going to try and salvage a par.
Oh gosh! Okay, thank goodness.
That just would have been cruel.
Yeah, that would be like an Eric Joakley type of thing.
Yeah, accurate. There's Paul just laying up for the par, smartly so. AJ could run this, but OB behind. Half go.
It's just the raised basket. He just was like, I said, I had no chance.
Here's Eric coming back. Good putt.
Look at that. Committed, man.
Well done, sir.
He can't even believe he made a putt.
That did hit high, but it stayed in. I'll see their disc graph baskets, apparently. Did you see that in the comments?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
I haven't played on them. They kind of have the same problems that those Mach 5s have, where it's kind of light chains and not much of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't really favor those firm putters. Kind of interesting that you'd have pros playing on baskets that don't support firm putters, but hey, I'm not the TD, so.
Yep. There are a bunch of drop-ins. What is AJ doing? I don't even think he knows what he's doing.
I think he's trying to figure out if it could actually slide through it if he missed it. You know what I mean?
Like into the raised
that
part
little,
of it,
like,
but under the basket.
Thing. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, bunch of pars. That's a tough hole, but I'm sure somebody was hoping for a birdie there. Did not happen. On to hole 16, par 4, 606. It's straight off the tee, then kind of doglegs right. It's got that downhill finish, though, which makes it tough to stick.
Exactly. It's kind of that, like, slow, listing lazily to the right vibe the whole way.
Yeah.
Sidearm works off the tee, backhand turnover shot, real aggressive roller works out great sometimes. You got options.
Yep. Paul with the Metal Flake T-Bird 3 on an Annie.
Yeah,
I don't think he
results
minds that
as
cut
round
roll.
1.
Yeah. It gets him out and get around the corner. AJ with the roller.
Nicely angled. This should be cooking.
Watch out, Andy. Oh, wow. Great shot, AJ.
That's pretty much ideal. I mean, there's not a lot of room for improvement there.
MJ, oh, that's a tasty looking Annie.
And guess what he's throwing there? That
What is it?
the Mantis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he called it his fairway comment.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good endorsement if MJ's calling something a fairway comment.
Mm-hmm.
Oak laying down the tasty roller as well. Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that. Friends stick together.
Paul with that Metal Flake FD3 on the second shot here, playing the flex line. That's low.
That is low. That's kind of just dug right in. That's an unfortunate shot there.
Dang. MJ kind of flipping over this upshot. Oh.
No.
Wow.
He's just being efficient with it.
That worked way better than I thought it was.
I know. Same here.
Solid upshot right there from AJ. Eric going to try the forehand version of that shot.
Yeah,
That's a
good
better
shot.
work.
Man, he slings that Justice nice sidearm. I gotta look into one of those.
Yeah. They're a really interesting disc.
Yeah, kind of probably similar to my Buzz OS, something like that.
Yeah, a little bit faster, but not much.
McBeth putting a good run on it, hitting the pole there.
Yeah, got me taking a par, though. There's a birdie from MJ. Birdie from AJ. Birdie from Eric J.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, where's like CJ, RJ, JR.
I'm sure his middle name starts with a J. It's got to. Good par from not really actually good par from Paul. I'm sure he's pretty disappointed with that after that tee shot, especially.
Yeah, well, I mean, just kind of dug the tee shot into the ground, dug the second shot into the ground, and then put a good bit on a 3.
Yeah.
You know,
That's everybody got a stroke on Paul, but he had a lot to give back to them.
precisely. He's got some room.
He's got like 10 strokes on the card. Hole 17 is coming up. It's a little par 3 island hole. Again, reminiscent of USDGC 17. It is treacherous. Your round isn't over until this is done.
Exactly. Maybe not as like blow up holy as hole 17 at USDGC because there's a drop zone if you do go OB.
Yeah.
So really worst you're looking at is a 4, a 5 if something tragic happens. This is the hole that everybody's holding their breath for an ace on, though, as MJ almost hits the dock pole there.
Eric, gonna take a forehand at this.
I really love the fact that they set up these bleachers. There's 2 sets of them. One, a little long there. I thought it was good. Had that hand, but 2 sets of bleachers. One on the 13's tee pad, and then one on this tee pad. Really setting up that venue feel, sports event.
That's
feel.
cool. Yeah, I like it. Paul didn't like that shot as it goes OB. Eric throws the forehand justice in there for a bogey. Paul throwing the AVR 3.
I believe it's, I don't know, he rotates those overstable putters so fast. I think that's the champion AVR.
I know that he's throwing putters of like every 2 or 3 days he's throwing in a
It's
different
crazy.
one.
I think he probably threw the same set of discs all 4 world championships, and now there's like a new disc every week.
Yeah. That was a good putt from our friend AJ.
He's liking it. That was even farther than the birdie putt.
It was. A good birdie from MJ.
MJ hasn't seemed like he's been playing like obviously not great, but he's kind of hanging in there. He hasn't really let it get out of hand. He's just mitigated the damage.
Yep. Bogey from Eric, bogey from Paul.
I want to know
AJ
the return rate of like how many discs people hand to other people out of the basket, and Eric Oakley has to be number 1. He is grabbing people's discs out of the basket, handing them back so often.
He's got loads of disc karma. There is a good birdie from MJ. We're on to our last hole, hole 18, par 4, playing along the water the entire way. What is that? A picnic area kind of comes into play a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost like a viewing area, almost if there was like some sort of water event.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It ends up though setting up some really unique upshots if you run into it.
MJ throwing the roller. That looked pretty turned over though.
Yeah, turned over. I mean, not the worst spot to be though. As long as you're cresting that hill, that is a terrible lie. Wow, that's brutal.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, as long as you crest the hill, though, and kind of make your way up to where that cement fixture is, it's hard to ask for a lot more than that.
Okay. What happened to AJ's?
It just hit that little. It hit like a little shrub on the ground and just sputtered out. It looked like it was going to be really good though.
Yeah, it did. Eric.
Caught between a turnover and a roller.
Yeah. Paul? Oh.
Yeah, that left to right tailwind really was playing, to the aid of this shot.
It didn't work though, did it?
No, kind of hyzered out. Now it's going to dump out a little bit, unfortunately.
So he's inbounds. He gets to take a mark down there pretty close, right? Or
Yeah, he did. He got a lot of ground, so he's going to get maybe 2/3 of the way up the fairway before it hyzered back out.
Okay. Decent looking second shot there. Easy 4. This is Eric's second shot.
Another one of those like really oddly footed standstill sidearms.
Yeah. Where'd they go?
Oh, it just cut in a little bit short. It wasn't as far as maybe he'd like it to be. But, he's approaching from maybe 85 feet,
Gotcha.
100 feet.
That was MJ getting decently close. Here's Paul throwing 3 with the FT3. So I'll have a look for 4. It was almost a look for 5.
Yeah.
Good upshot right there.
Easy peasy par.
This is Eric's third. He'll take a par 2. Ooh, sit.
A lot of action on that Justice.
Yeah, it definitely gets some ground action. Ooh, AJ kind of laying up a little too hard there. Paul for 4.
Wow, and that putt was to secure his spot on the lead card going into the third round.
Oh, wow. What the?
Oh, Oakley, what are we doing here, bud?
Oh, man. That didn't look bad.
No, it just
A
hit
little
high left
high,
side.
I guess. Yeah.
These baskets are pretty unforgiving.
They are. Dropping in a 5, unfortunately.
Paul with the saucy sidearm out of the bush.
Yep. And there is your round. Paul finishes at 11 down, 5 down on the round, and everyone else is quite a bit over there, unfortunately. Here are the standings after round 2. Josh leading the way.
Man, he is just smoking hot, dude. It was tied at 12 down with 5 holes to go in round 2, and Anton just absolutely caught a heater and separated himself by 4 strokes in 5 or 6 holes there at the end.
Wow. So we got a pretty fun card tomorrow. We got Greg Barsby, Colin Bailey, Bobby Music, and KJ Nybo.
I'm so excited. I played my practice round when I first got here with Bobby. We had a great time kind of digging into what he was throwing and what shots that we should be looking for. So I'm excited to actually see him play it in tournament and be able to talk about it afterwards. Great dude, great player.
And just hanging out with Bobby is always fun, too.
That's what I'm saying. Step 1. And then, not to mention KJ Nybo, the European wonder. I'm just so excited.
Yeah. Very cool, guys. Everybody, thanks for watching. Again, huge thanks to all our sponsors, MVP, all our Patreon subscribers. You guys are the best. You can donate $1 a month if you want. You won't notice, but we will. We appreciate it.
Hey, I always say if we had 25% of our subscribers do $1 a month, this would be a full-time gig, possibly with benefits. It would be just a life-changing thing that could happen, and it just seems so reasonable when you say it that way.
Yep, I'll get you that good insurance, Corey.
Yes.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in round 3.